What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. We are getting ready here for our live session. Bitcoin, $51,000. Markets under pressure. We are going to focus. Jordan, focus on the technicals. All right, I feel really calm right now. I feel really good. I am in a position of power. I really like it. Whether or not this turns into a fire session, I have no idea. Maybe it's going to be a calm, cool, collected session. We're going to make sure we walk out of here understanding exactly where we are right now. We're going to walk out of this session understanding exactly what is next. We're going to feel really good about it, right? Anyone holding Bitcoin right now on leverage at 51,000, how do you feel, right? Feel pretty good over there. We like that. We love that. This morning, I spent a lot of time on the Discord Bitcoin channel, and it was beautiful. You guys are absolutely insanely great. What a conversation. You guys helped me get my bearings. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. On Twitter as well, the most recent thing I just put out on Twitter this morning, right? This level was key. This is coming off of yesterday's post over here. This was coming off of the bull flag that we were watching as we came into this support. By the way, I need to start off this session just so we're all on the same page. You see, I do feel like a shepherd of this family. And I need to always make sure that everybody out there is always on the same page, because this is the bull of all bulls, and riding it to completion is our task. And it is the hardest market to ride. We're going to make sure that we do everything we need to do. Let's focus on the last 90 seconds of the live stream yesterday. If many of you missed it, but it gave us the perfect understanding going into yesterday. It's a 90-second clip. We're going to start here. I hope we get this breakout over here. If we don't, if we get rejected over here as we're coming to this resistance, watch out for that trend line over there. Breaking the trend line, extend this down. What do you got? You got a little bit. That's not correct. That's hold on one second. I like to be correct. Hold on. I want to keep the angle at. All right, here's what I do. If I get stuck, I go like this. I copy this line, or I could clone that line, and I'm going to overlap it like this, right? I want to make sure that I'm correct, right? So anyway, whatever. If we break this trend line over there, then we have support coming in. Look where my mouse is. Look to the left, right? The number I gave you was what? 51,500, right? Look to the left. You'll see that as we come into that little bit of broken resistance support, that could coincide with this right over here. That remains the same. I would not exit personally, Jordan, on a break. Maybe you want to lighten up a little if you're trading a little bit higher, lightly leveraged. But I'm still looking at my same number, 51,500, a breakdown of this trend line, of this bull flag. That would have me lightening up my lightly leveraged position and then just looking and waiting for it to repair itself before looking to add. Trading lightly leveraged, I do not add on the 30% pullback, 20% pullback. I add as it repairs itself. Okay, this is going to be actually a really fun session, an important session. I have to tell you that everything that we've been doing set me up for everything that I'm doing here. And I want you all to be on the same page. I feel so good. I feel so comfortable. I am sitting in the greatest position of power right now, and it feels good. And I want you all to feel good. Maybe there's a lot of people right now really worried. Bitcoin's crashing. The markets are crashing. I don't know. I feel really solid. I want everyone else to feel as good as I do. This morning we were watching, by the way, let's focus on the technicals here for a second. I want to go back. I'm going to go to the 2 hours so we can see it a little bit clearer. This is what we were watching last night as we came into the support of the bull flag. We bounced, and we bounced into what? The broken trend line. The broken trend line then held as resistance. And as we resumed off, taking out that supportive low, that's where I lightened up completely for the first time during this bull market cycle. For the first time, I went completely flat, lightly leveraged. It feels good. I went over this morning on the Discord group as we were breaking that support. I said, listen, lighten up, wait for the repair to add back. We're going to talk about where we add back later in just a little bit. First, we need to understand exactly where we are right now. And then the next thing I did, right, as we came into this lower end, I cloned this line over here. I cloned that line again. I added it to the touches over here. And I said, as we're coming in this morning, right around to that support area, I just made a quick note. It's a level to watch. But because of the technical breakdown, we wait for the repair. Just because we're into that little bit of support here, I'm not looking to pick a bottom. I'm not looking to exit and then add again. I'm on the sidelines and I'm waiting until we start repairing. We're going to discuss in a little bit what that would look like. We're going to look first at what our possible downside targets could be, right? And then we're going to look at where we are in the cycle and what's next. We're going to make sure that we have that clarity. So before I get this off, I just want everyone to know and understand, first time in the cycle, completely sidelined on lightly leveraged, feels like a position of power. I am more bullish than ever. By the way, this was just shared on Twitter, actually. Fidelity, about to applying for an ETF. Goldman Sachs applies for a Bitcoin-related investment product. We're looking at the sovereigns entering the space, way more bullish than ever. That's not even a question. This is awesome. Now I get to wait to attack. We're going to talk about what those places to attack might look like, what they might be. We're going to look at our downside risk, and then we're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff over here. I just want everyone to understand, just because I'm coming into this area of light support, the only reason I have it grayed out over there is because it was just added while we were offline together. I'm not looking to buy over here at all. I'm watching this level. Is it possible it holds? Yeah, it's possible it holds. We'll see what happens. I think we go lower. I'm prepared to go lower. Now listen, I'm focused on the technicals. And what I mean by that was I saw what was happening, right? On the trend line break over here, I said, I am not going to. If you were more than lightly leveraged, you should be lightening up there first. Once we held the support, we came in for that retest. And then I saw as we resumed off, this is conquering the markets all day long, right? Everybody here is prepared for this. This is what we do and who we are. This is a breakdown, retest, resumption. On that resumption, I exited my position fully. I can now wait and watch. I prefer to buy back higher. I hope I get to buy back higher, but something changed since last night when I got off the phone with y'all. When I got off the phone with y'all on the live stream, right? What happened? I said to you I would not buy on a 30% pullback, right? Because when I'm trading lightly leveraged, I wait for what? The bounce and the repair to go ahead and add to that position. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you have to watch the Conquering the Markets training session that we did. It's on the Conquering the Markets recommended playlist, and it's called How to Trade Lightly Leveraged. Experts only, essential, right? But this is different. It just changed because I'm now completely sidelined. I now have the ability, the possibility to, if we pull back 30%, or whatever we pull back, wherever I feel like entering, to start scaling into that lightly levered position, and then adding and going heavy as we go, as we repair ourselves. By the way, just so you know that, Stanley Druckenmiller, I always reserve the right to go ahead and change my mind in an instant, right? I was going on this breakout over here once we broke above that resistance at 51.5. The 55.1 resistance there on the way up out of this second pullback, the consolidation. I was the most lightly leveraged I've ever been, right? If we would have resumed up here as we made all-time highs and kept going, forget about it. You don't even know what I would have been doing. And then that didn't happen. Do you see that didn't happen? And then the technical break that occurred, we all know what happened over here. And I just, boom, got out completely. That's, I'm never over trading, but at the right time, at the right place, I'm there to act. Let's look at our downside targets before anything else so we can keep going over here. By the way, what's a 30% drawdown at this point? 30% drawdown is taking us towards 43,000. There's nothing there. There's really no technical breaks over there. A level that I'm watching is closer to 47, right? That's the level for the past week I've been noting over and over again. If we break this trend line over here, that we would be looking at 47 next. Is that is that where we're looking? Well, that's a 24% drawdown. Not so bad, right? What happens if we come down to the light resistance over here, turn support? It's light. It's a 34% drawdown into $40,000. I think we feel more pain if we come into $40,000. I think that we could trade lower into 38,000 where we have stronger support. There's stronger support because I want you to see right over here, this bit of resistance, this bit of resistance. When it broke, we came back and tested it right there, right? That's not up a little higher. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Let me take off this. I want you to have the same exact lines that I have and understand it's this right over here. Right? There's the resistance. There's the resistance. We broke out here, came in and retested it, flipped it to support. That's the strong area. It's possible we come down as far as there. I believe if we do, which is a 38, 39% drawdown, and I've been saying watch out and warning about larger drawdowns, I think that's a possibility. Be prepared for it. All right? Watch this over here. This was shared in the Discord this morning. These two red circles, by the way, in this Tuesday's live session, we spent a great deal of time having that situational awareness, talking about at this particular time, this many days past the halving, that in the first and second cycle, we had this large drawdown capitulation, which is a V, which spiked back up in both instances. And while I said I don't think it happens this time, I still don't think it happens this time, but when we have the technical break happening right now, I'm sure prepared for it. I am more than prepared for it, and it's a much stronger possibility than it was on Tuesday. Now, we talked about Gene's analysis and assessment that the reason it was able to happen in the first and second cycle was because it was a more immature market, that they were able to play more games, shake people out of their positions. I like that a lot. It sounds good to me. What I want you to focus in on and imprint on your brain right now, it's very important. If we see a massive spike down, watch this area over here between 4,000 and 37.5. That area that I just pointed out to you, 37,700. If we see a spike down into there, of course, I know that everyone on this channel will be adding to that position there because it'll be a 38% drawdown. I know that everyone here is way ahead of the game. I know that. I see the conversations that take place. I don't even need to say anything. You all are having the conversation that I would have. It's absolutely phenomenally fantastic. Phenomenally fantastic, conquering the markets all day long. Nevertheless, I want to prepare you. If you see that, I believe that many of us would be scaling in over there. The safe and easy point to scale back in, by the way, as we talk about repair, right? Do you see the V? The V? As you make the new high again out of that V, what happens in the first cycle? A strong vertical move. What happens in the second cycle? A strong vertical move. If you see this pattern repeat itself right here, right on time, as it did in the first two cycles, I will be fully, as I was over here on the break of 51,500, the most fully positioned I was this whole bull market cycle. I will be that and more again coming up over there, expecting a type of vertical rise that we saw in the first and second cycle. And if that happens, I want to take full advantage of that, being prepared. I'm always preparing myself, preparing you for what could happen, for what should happen. That way, as it unfolds, we were talking this morning in Discord, Brandon, Crypto Trades and Tech, was leading the conversation. I forget who it was, please forgive me, made this awesome comment about how this reminds them around the price action around $10,000. And they said, if you thought there was nothing easy about it then, and there's nothing easy about it now. It was absolute fire. And then Brandon went on and talking about everything that was going on psychologically with everyone else around there. The break to 12,000, how most people were insanely bearish looking for the CME gap to close. I have to raise my hand and said I believe it'll never close at that point. But any which way, that's neither here nor there. There's never anything easy about it. I mean, I feel strongly. Could we get some likes flying today? Could we get some like buttons flying today? Could we smash that like button if you're here spending your time watching the show? Let's get it going over here. Bob Burt, bringing the fire over here. Jordan did the Jim Jones of trading. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid. I saw a beautiful comment this morning, right? It was from my boy. I can't say my boy. It was from the boy, Benjamin. Yeah, and he's like, listen, anyone who says they could predict any type of short-term price movements, they're lying. It's not, I don't know. Have you seen the video, Bitcoin Lightly Leveraged, the featured video on this channel? We've done a massively good job about it, and we continue to do that, and we continue to deal. Bob Burt, thanks for firing me up. Lots of love to you, my brother. Thanks, lots of love to you, my brother. Greatly appreciate it over here. What about the way up? We talked about the V. I want everyone to be prepared in case this were to happen over here. This or this were to happen over here right on time, so that as we come out of it, you see as the all-time high is made, that's when you go vertical. Do you see this is not the all-time high because of the break of the model, right? Put your hand over that. If I could put my hand over it and it would block it. As the new high is made right over there, we go vertical. And print that on your mind. I want you to be prepared and ready for that if that occurs. I personally will be fully lightly leveraged and more at that position at that particular point. I think we go fire. What else are we looking at for a repair? What happens if we hold this line over here of this bull flag, right? What happens if we start making a higher high on the 8-hour? What happens if this happens overnight? I know a lot of traders are focused on the CME options expiring. I'm not. I mean, I am focused on the technicals. So you could say that, right? I mean, clearly, just as over here, I mean, look, this was massively great TA. This was massively great TA. And the same thing that's happening right here as we break down, right? The awareness that we have. Whoa, Jordan, what's going on with your charts, man? Hold on a second. I need to look at a clean space over here. I need a system restart after this live stream over here as well. This was massively good TA over here. What happens if we hold over here and we make a higher high in the 8-hour? Well, you'd be coming right into resistance, by the way. Do you see that? You'd be coming right into resistance on a higher high there. I'm not going to take that. I wouldn't take anything at this point right now in between this area, personally, on as far as lightly leveraged. And by the way, just a big shout out to anyone, right? Anyone who bought Bitcoin over here at 61,000, 62,000, or we didn't make it to 62,000, that's not leveraged, that's a massively good entry, for this bull market cycle. Feel confident in your position. Always, at any time, expect a 30% plus drawdown, but the risk is to the upside. Before I even go further, right? We already talked about the Fidelity ETF coming online. There's going to be an ETF launched during this bull market phase. I feel it. It's coming. There's something I wanted to share with you, and it's right over here. This was shared by Zenon in the Discord group this morning. This is pretty cool. I want to take a look at this. By the way, are you not bullish on Bitcoin? It delivered its best first quarter in 8 years with an 80% gain. Right? Some other interesting stats: 4 consecutive positive quarters with a minimum 18% gain and a maximum of 168% gain. That's coming off of the crisis in March, right? Quarter 2 is historically the best quarter, in particular when Q1 was positive. Let's look at that really quick. I want you to focus back to the bull market in 2017. The bull market in 2017. Oh, I'm firing some people up. I never had this many dislikes on a video at all. Keep them coming. I could care less. I want to take everyone with me, but there will be many that will be left behind. There will be many that are left behind. I'm perfectly great with. I have no qualms about any time weeding out the weeds. No qualms about it. Yeah, I'm full of love. I want to bring everyone with me. I want everyone to succeed. But if you don't belong here, I'm going to be the first to wipe you off the map. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, my brother. Right? 2017, you saw over here, this is the bull market, and Q2, right, after a positive Q1, it was fire, right? So is there a difference between the 2017 bull market and the 2021 bull market? I think there is. You ready for this? Here's what I think. I think that this bull market is not going to end in December. I think it's going to end a full quarter earlier, towards the end of September. So, is it possible that Q2 is now Q1? Is it possible in this next Q2 over here that actually we consolidate a little bit, that we underperform the 80% return we put up in Q1? Maybe it's something like 40%. I mean, yes, listen, the reason I'm highlighting that for you, I believe it's a distinct possibility. All right. And I want to be aware. Now, the only thing that throws me off of that is this. If we put in this massive V shape here, and then I think we go vertical. And then at that point, I have to say, all right, maybe we're looking at a massively higher Q2. So I reserve, it could be either or. I don't know which is going to happening. And I just want you to understand that I think the timing is off. I think that Q2 is Q1 over here, that maybe Q2 over here is underperforms Q1, and then we have a massive Q3, that this bull market ends earlier. At the same time, I follow price and price alone. If all of a sudden we put in this formation, I'm getting ready for launch, right? I'm getting ready for some massive G-forces pushing me back in my seat over here, and I'm going to go launching with it. All right, there we go. What else are we looking at today? What have we covered over here in 25, 26 minutes? Oh, we had about 5 minutes of music, right? So I spend all my time in the morning preparing for the session. Why I brew my coffee, it's really during the music that I get to drink it, This all comes down to the wire. And anyway, where I feel good. That's all I could say. I feel good because I know exactly where we are. I feel completely confident. I just want everyone to know, even if I said watch this level, if we do hold or it holds, I'm not looking to get back in over here. I'd rather buy back in at a higher price. I said I won't buy over here in no man's land. Where would I buy? Well, listen, we're gonna be here together, right? And if, for example, we were pushed above that trend line again, maybe we came into the resistance. On a retest of that resistance, if that was successful before the breakout, I would be scaling in. No question about that. Just heads up, this is like, I want you, in case we're not here together, in case this occurs on Saturday, right? Maybe after everyone's looking for a little bit of pump in price after the CME options expire. Well, maybe that's when the dump comes. I don't know what's exactly happening over here. I'm following price. If it happens on Saturday, if it happens on Sunday, I want you all to have the same exact awareness that I have over here. And if we break above that trend line, come in and retest it and resume off of it, I would take a preemptive entry, begin scaling in for sure. And then on the break over here, I'm adding again for sure. And then on new all-time high, I'm making sure I am fully positioned and more as we're looking to go up. You notice that I'm always looking at the risk to the downside when we're really bullish. At this point, since we are bearish, technically just had some major breaks occur, I'm now showing you the upside on the repair of when I would be and what I would be doing to get in. Do you see how I flip-flop like that? All right, what else are we looking at? I think there's other things that we wanted to talk about and or discuss and or share. An important one over here on BlockFi. Everyone's aware of what's going on with BlockFi. We got our, let's call them our hyper-focused Bitcoin-only crowd who are calling out BlockFi as a scam, right? Now, we do have others. We have a lot of others, whether it's like someone like Preston, or if it's someone like Anthony Popolano or Lynn Alden, who is completely supportive of BlockFi. And then you have our, I don't want to, maxis is a bad word. I don't want to call them maxis, right? People who believe in Bitcoin only. How about that? That's positive, right? It was Vitalik who coined the term maxis, right? Oh, interesting tidbit as I get into BlockFi over here, and that's that, who was it? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Pierre, I don't know his last name. If anyone knows who I'm talking about, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Could you put the name in for everyone else? He is saying heads up, as Ethereum moves completely to staking, proof of stake, there's going to be a massive coordinated attack against Bitcoin and its energy consumption. It's a war. I'm kind of like the guy who's like, I love crypto. I support all crypto. I believe in all crypto. Yes, I believe that anything that could be built on another chain could be built on top of Bitcoin. And in the end, Bitcoin is going to eat everything. But I root for the success of everything. There's no question about that. Let's see what the Ethereum crowd does as they move over to proof of stake. Could that put some pressure onto Bitcoin, or is that kind of dwarfed by the massive amount of interest we're seeing, whether it's from an ETF that is going to be launched and going to be launched this bull market or whatever? Just giving you that awareness over here. Is this also, massive FUD that's taking place, or is it serious risk? Right now, I could see a lot of questions. I'm going back and I'm watching this podcast over here where we had Zach Prince, the CEO of BlockFi, on the Investors Podcast Network, right? I'm watching how he talks about, or what he says publicly about them managing risk. I spoke with a BlockFi rep about it 2 days ago, and then I'm going to watch this one over here, also Zach, on what Bitcoin did, just to see if I pick up on anything. But I want everyone to know, as I do hold a significant amount of money on BlockFi, that I am doing one thing. See, I feel confident about all the money that I have on loan, where I have loans on BlockFi, because it's not my collateral at risk, it's someone else's, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if you're collecting like either 6% holding one Bitcoin or less on BlockFi, or if you're holding more than one Bitcoin on BlockFi and you're collecting, what is it? Is it 1% now? I think. I mean, that's silly. The Bitcoin that I have there is going to a hardware wallet. But the money that I have there holding that I borrowed against, well, I feel completely comfortable about that because they're not lending out my Bitcoin. I borrowed against that Bitcoin. So I feel really good about that. But I am taking a preemptive measure. There's no need to be holding Bitcoin collecting 1% at any point in time. That's not something I want to do. But 2%, same thing though. I mean, it's insignificant in my opinion. Now, they are, and no one knows this yet, but what they will be doing soon for those that hold the significant amount of money on BlockFi. By the way, my uncle Ralph, right? If he wanted to, get out of the risky equity markets and buy Bitcoin, I would only say to him, go to BlockFi. It's who I use. It's who I trust. It's so easy. And that's not just him. It's everyone who would be in the generation that labeled as the boomers, right? It's the easiest thing to do. My mom, God bless her, turning 81, no question about it. That's what I would tell her. Now, they are going to be allowing people to hold Bitcoin because people hold a significant amount of Bitcoin there that will not be lent out. It's not going to pay a 2%. But it's not going to be lent out. That's awesome. I like that a lot. Just wanted to give you that heads up about that. And I also wanted to discuss what's going on BlockFi as the ever-evolving situation, why I believe there's a lot of, anyway, that's that for now. You can see over here, this level so far is holding. That's insignificant. Right now, I am happy to be completely sidelined over here, feeling pretty fully confident about what happens next. And I will let you all know as I get back into there. What else? We need to discuss other markets. We covered in the first half hour everything that was going on here on Bitcoin, focusing on the technicals, giving everyone that situational awareness that keeps them feeling strong. Let's look at the rest of the markets over here. The dollar is what we're going to start with, as the dollar is breaking out above this resistance level now. I told you yesterday that I think we come into 92.80. We came close, 92.75. How about them apples, right? Pretty close. Nevertheless, I'm still waiting. This is the retest we're coming in for now, right? I was looking for the move towards 92.80. We came pretty close, 92.74. Right? I'm now looking for the retest and then the resumption off. Price is not yet made, by the way, and it doesn't need to, but I like it to make a lower high. I like to price on the retest to make a lower high. It does not need to, and if it doesn't, right? If we see price come back down, never making a lower high, and then comes off, that could be the sign of a very strong and sharp move. Nevertheless, I like to see that lower high put in, but since we came into the area that I was looking, I'm now looking for the retest. We'll see if it holds. I noticed his name is Travis King or something. This guy's wearing a crown on his head too. What's with all the people on the wrong side of the dollar trade wearing crowns on their head? What's up with that? That must be some inside stuff that I don't know about. Nevertheless, he's like tweeting yesterday. He's like, oh, the DXY just broke the 200-day moving average. How about that? Well, I don't know. How about that? Why have you been on the wrong side of the trade for 1 year on a massive move? We're looking perhaps over here, if we get the resumption off, to switch out over here and become dollar bulls. This is how you do it. You don't hold the whole time and then like, oh, 2 years later, look, I was right, Peter Schiff. What's with all these dots? Does anyone know these dots that keep populating on my trading view and or how to get rid of them without removing each and every one? I don't know what's going on over there. All right, what else? Has Bitcoin recovered? Well, I just spent I spent 30 minutes explaining what happens next on Bitcoin, right? No, but if you're just joining us, go ahead and watch and get going over there, right? Kips and Friends. Oh, I don't know who Kips and Friends are. I never heard of them before. So interesting. Interesting that Kips and Friends, secretly calling market bottoms and tops. That's not how we do it here. We don't call market bottoms and tops ever. That's a losing man's game, by the way. That's a losing man's game. But Kips is here. Let's check out nickel. Yeah. Oh. See you, my brother. All right, what's going on over here? That was fun. Let's look over here at the S&P 500. Never broke out of over here. Never had the always on the indexes. We're looking for what? We're looking for breakout, retest, resumption. We covered that strongly yesterday over here. Never had it. We're still consolidating over here, coming in towards a little bit of area of support. If the equity markets bounce, will Bitcoin bounce with it? Good, strong possibility about that. That could be the low. It's just a level to watch. I'm all about managing my risk. All right? So what else? Bitcoin under pressure, technical break today. Nasdaq breaking out of this, and oh, look at this. Do you remember we set this up yesterday? I put in I said we were consolidating, and I put in these two lines over here. Do you see that we broke down, came into the support right over here, 12,742, bounced into that broken trend line. It held as resistance now, and then we're resuming off and trading below the support right now. That's conquering the markets all day long over here, under pressure. I'm going to go ahead and just tidy this up right now because I don't like looking at it. I want things to be a little bit clean, and sometimes I get crazy, right? So let's go ahead and do this over here. Let's just draw that in just so we break above it. We know, because we need to break back above that trend line right now in order for us to be repaired. This is very negative occurring right over here right now. What else are we looking at? Gold and silver. Gold is bid today, and gold, wow. Do you remember since we're trading right over here, I guess this is on the 19th, all week I've been saying to you something's going on with gold. All week I've been saying, watch gold. It's consolidating below this resistance over here, and it's acting stronger than silver. Here it goes again, outperforming silver today, and it's breaking back above this broken right here. It broke this trend line support, now breaking above it to the upside. I don't think it's time to attack at all. I think that we got to wait till we break out above this trend line over here. Let me go ahead and highlight this one just so everyone could look at it easily and know what we're waiting and watching for. We're still, this is more bullish, right? More bullish, but not ready time to attack. Bro Jabble, I'm gonna go back and read it after. I can't keep pace with it going on in full time, but after, oh, Wes, what's going on? Moderators who are absolutely the core, have become the core of this community over here. There's no question about that. I see each and every day exactly what they were doing, and I can't believe it. It is head exploding, mind exploding. A rat and apple will ruin the whole group and community. There's nothing else like it. In a second, boom, you all know what to do and when to do it. That's all. Let's take a look at silver next over here. Look at that. Silver bouncing off over here, the 24.32 support. It is spiking up, right? Lots of a liquidity purge over here. Lots of stops taken out, right? The support held. We weren't looking at this level at all. It looks like under 25. There were a lot of stop losses. We were looking at this level, 20.32. Below that, this gets worrisome. Silver bouncing over here. Very easy and simple. Below 2630, this is out of play. We don't look to catch bottoms. We don't look at it at all. We're looking and waiting for this to break above here for momentum to gain, and then we look to attack. Is this setting up something that we could focus in on? I don't know. I don't see it. I was just trying. You got to take chances. You got to take chances. People are panicking about Bitcoin? Man. But people think if people think I sold my Bitcoin, whatever. Boomer Day. The amount of miscommunication that takes place with everyone across the World Wide Web, the internet, is absolutely atrocious and ridiculous. If people think I sold my Bitcoin, then that's great. But I did completely sell all of my lightly leveraged Bitcoin. I've not been since the cycle started, since I've known you all, out of my Bitcoin lightly leveraged trade through anything. And right now I am completely out of it, 100% sitting in a position of power. That's my lightly leveraged Bitcoin, completely out of it. Did I sell my Bitcoin? No. If you think I sold my Bitcoin, do I care? No, I don't really care. I know that everyone here who's part of conquering the markets has full understanding of what's going on. And at the end of the day, that's all I really care about. That's all I care about, right? So either which way. Where else are we? Or where was I? Oh, we were looking at gold, silver, right? I should just tweet out, I sold all my Bitcoin. Listen, if you don't know, then you don't know. And you're never going to know, right? Anyway, everyone knows my heart. Everyone knows how important you all are to me. Everyone understands how important to me, not only your success, but the success that you will then reach out to all those around you is to me. At the same time, if anyone is not meant to be here, I could care less. You're gone. It doesn't even matter to me at all. Because if you are going to be a detriment to the community, then the community is stronger without you. And that's it. That's how we roll over here. All right. What else? What else could happen over here? Is it possible? Anyway, I digress. Got me all out of my flow. Let's take a look at Ethereum. By the way, continues to be under pressure as well. Ethereum, for all the Ethereum lovers out there, I support you and your work. I'm rooting for Ethereum. I would wait for a break, right? This trend line, the lower trend line, that's the stronger and most important resistance. A breakout above there, do you begin scaling back into your position? Or is it above right now, 1740 right now? I think so. You got to break above this one before you get fully positioned and more, and then looking for price discovery above here. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. What else? Let's keep looking over at the rest of some alts over here. Let's see I want to look at all the alts really quick. Man, under pressure. I wish I had that. What was that song? Under Pressure. Back in the 80s over here. Look at this last bit of resistance. Turn support right over there. That just touched over there. Do you see that? Without me just keeping the mouse over there. I saw the comment, but I don't have a comment. Right, Peter? These guys are absolutely insanely great. Really grateful for it. Do you see over here, this was resistance, flipped to support, and we just touched that level. That's like a line of hope right there. If we break below that, we will see further pressure on the alts. Be very, very careful. Is it a good place to manage your risk, knowing that you could take a position, and if you're wrong getting out, we made a higher high in the 8-hour. Did we break any type of trend line? That's debatable. That's hard to see and hard to say. Yeah. That's all I could add and see. I just call it as I see it. If it helps you make a decision, that's awesome. David Bowie, under pressure. Cam and Tribe, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. What else? So, people don't understand. People do not understand. Yeah. So, what else are we looking at? This is Uniswap. Let's get a good look at her. Trying to clear this up so I can keep going over here. All right. So, Uniswap, alts, under pressure for sure. Are they going to, if Bitcoin breaks down below the lower support over here, it's going to wash out all these altcoins. That's what you have to be protective about. I'm looking to see if I see alts which are rising versus Bitcoin. But if I'm looking to see if I see alts right now positioned to break out, I'm not seeing that yet. I feel like if you were entering alts, you would, Aave Bitcoin aside, that looks like a possible place to go ahead and poke. Where is it safe? That's what I want to know, right? So above this area over here, 0.07, right? Above there, then it's a confirmed breakout, right? Right now, I think you're trying to pick a bottom. Important stuff. What about .BTC over here? Let's take a look. Yeah, alts under pressure, right? Are they going to bounce first over here? Is Bitcoin going to lag? If Bitcoin breaks down over here, alts are going to really feel this pressure. It's not a safe time to enter the water, right? I see like, the lifeguard, he's looking out on the horizon to all the surfers out there, looking for the next set of waves to come in. And he's like, careful, there's sharks in the water. There is a bunch of great whites in the water. It's not safe to get in. Are there those that are out there that like see a good set of waves coming in and they don't care about the sharks? They have a higher risk tolerance. Maybe that's not for me. I'm actually waiting here till things get clear. I want to get fully positioned and more when things get clear. And is it possible that we see this washout occur? I hope it does. We'll see what happens. All right, what else are we looking at? We saw that. Alts under pressure. I see alts moving against Bitcoin. Link is kind of giving us a nice symmetry of the market as it has in the past. You could see this over here. Oh, is it breaking out? It's close. It's close, and it could be. I would be watching to attack with alts, but not yet. I would wait for a clearer sign that some of those sharks are swimming away first. I would be waiting and watching. Let's check out. This is US dollar pair, right? Oof, people loved it at 333. How do you like it now? 235. Yeah, I don't think it's safe. What about Cardano? It's moving versus the dollar, and it's also moving up versus Bitcoin over here. You could see this beautiful consolidation over here. It looks very clear. It hasn't broken out yet against the resistance to the upside yet. What about versus Bitcoin? Leading better. Right now, if you're trading alts, it looks like alts are making a move against Bitcoin, and you can see a couple that are leading, Aave and Cardano, both leading towards the upside. There's some strength there. They're at a position, or you're at a position where you can limit your risk. There's some good risk to reward levels over here. Now's the time. If this is what you're into, I would be watching. This is where we're attacking. Where else? Where else do we want to look over? Theta just continues to. This looks like a possible breakdown over there, though. Right? Once you see that big blow off move down over here, then you get that bounce about 50% of the way. If this comes down and takes out that last swing low, watch out, right? What else are we looking at over here? Let's get into FX. Let's see what's going on. Let's first start with the three pairs that we saw best set up. It was the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen coming out of the bull flag. You can see it's breaking out. We're looking now for the retest and then the resumption offer and entry over there. Okay. What about the pound Japanese yen, which had the same exact pattern, right? You could see over here, this is kind of bouncing off horizontal support. That is a good entry, right? You don't have to wait for the breakout retest if you're playing this consolidation play like this, which hasn't yet broken out. That hasn't yet broken out over here. Why the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen has. But if you're playing this off of horizontal support, you do have an entry right there, right now, where your risk is obviously clearly managed. You have to use a tight stop in this type of situation. There's no question about that. Yeah, listen, I just got to be careful of information that's not on point. The Canadian dollar strength is coming off of the Canadian Central Bank lightening off on the taking back some excess liquidity, relative tightening. Right? Those that are following the channel, we covered that yesterday in depth. They understand what's going on over here, right? It's not about the oil, right? What is the oil about? Oil's about the commodities trade. We covered that when you were bearish, my friend, on oil. When you were bearish, and I said, no, we're breaking out technically to the upside, right? Kips, we covered that. But to be careful what you throw out there. That's not about oil. That's about the central bank relatively tightening to every other central bank right now. All right. Anyway, jumping in here after a couple of months and throwing some stuff out. Be careful. Step back. All right. What else? Let's keep going over here. We wanted to look at the Euro Japanese yen, which was weak compared to the Canadian dollar and the pound Japanese yen over here, right? And let's see what's going on over here. You can see if I extend over here that broke the bull flag, which broke down over here. We're back into it, right? We're back into it. But you see the resistance. We broke above this resistance. We still have this trend line resistance we're coming into. This is weak still. Very, very, very weak. It has to do a lot of improvement, a lot of repair before you would even think about this. This is not where we need. This is not where we, sorry, I got caught up reading your comment, Pure Vita, over there. And I can't read comments and I can't focus over here on the technicals. Jordan, could you focus on the technicals? This is weakness over here. It's same thing that just happened on Bitcoin, where you had the break of the trend line and then coming in for the retest. That's coming in for a retest. If this resumes down, this offers a short opportunity, right? If we start seeing yen strength, it's going to show up on the euro. The Europe is the place to attack. Now on the flip side, we're seeing over here Canadian dollar leading to the upside, breaking out, coming in for a retest. Tomorrow during London, if we resume up, is that giving us an entry? Or is this like this? Hold on one second. I want to look at this particular spike to the top over there and see if that lines up over there with that. Is that something to watch out for? I don't know. I don't know. And if I don't know, what do? Well, I step back and I stay away. So the pound Japanese yen here is bouncing off the support, but at the same time, it's also coming into this resistance of this pullback. I would be staying away from both, just waiting for a little bit of clarity. I know a lot of people want to jump into a trade. They just want to trade. I think that most people that are part of this community have gotten over that hurdle. A crucial important. This is what holds most traders back from success, is that they just need the action. It's like they're gamblers. We are stalkers. We are predators, right? We are waiting. Sorry, I just got I'm getting totally distracted. Hey, Kips, my brother, I'm going to ask you a favor here. Could you cease from commenting the rest of the session? Great to see you. I'm glad you decided to come back. I understand why. There's no other place like it, but you're really distracting today. So I'm just going to ask you for the rest of the session to just kind of just stay mute. All right. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. We hope to see you again each and every day and more, and then continue to add to the conversation. But all you're doing right now is just jumping in and you're messing up the flow, right? Which is not cool, right? Is not cool. So just fall back. All right. What else? Let's keep going. Let's look at, let me check in what's going on with Bitcoin over here. I was on fire. Kips, last warning. First and only warning now. Trying to as an old friend, someone who I care deeply about, someone who I feel like I have a friendship with about, you just out of whack today, right? So just either fall back or just exit. It's up to you, right? And call anyone a loser. I would never do that. I said I have lots of love for you. Can you imagine? Anyway, let's keep going over there. Let's keep going. Yeah, why? It's so embarrassing. Way it, Becker. So embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends, let's keep going over there. So, out of the flow. All right, everyone. Let's just take a moment here and regain our composure. Kips, I love you, brother. There's no way I would ever call you a loser. I love when you spend your time with here and interact with us. I love what you add and who you are, right? But you're jumping in here cold, and that's all. That's all I was saying. There we go. DXY, we're all... I do too. I love how we interact. You know, we're just kind of like... Anyway, we all got that clear now. And there's no way I would never call someone a loser that I think so highly of. There's no way that would ever even occur or anything like that, right? But you're jumping in cold. You know, let's just start off slow and get back into the flow, all right? And that's where we are. Boom. Time for the great reset. I agree. By the way, head snack to reset. Love it. And there it is. There it is. By the way, you know, listen, since I can't, let's do it. We're a family here, right? We're all a family. For real, we're all a family. So let's sit down and have a family conversation really quick. Kips, you know, Keith was like, hey, listen, we love Kips. Let's go ahead. I don't understand why he's not in the inner community here where we all thrive and flourish. Why don't we just go ahead and invite him in? I asked you repeatedly, go ahead and email me. You never did. I asked you repeatedly to come ahead and email me so that we could invite you over, you know, and get you inside into the Discord and everything else. And then you just took off and left for months, you know? So anyway, Kips, email me. Email me, Kips. We love you, brother. We want you to be like, you know, tight and like this with us. So it's up to you. Let's reset over here. All right, get ready. We're going to drop.
Analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing, just to pretend they're in fashion. Need a like button, comments and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room, grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day. It's a taco day. It's a taco day.
All right. So I got an immense amount from this session today. Listen, why I do what I do, why I share my time with you all, right? And we're talking about things that have already changed lives for the amount of people I have no idea, I can't even fathom. The reason I do why I do is because it helps me achieve what I need to achieve to get done over here in the markets. By spending my time teaching you from an educator standpoint over here about how I view the markets, forcing myself to spend extra time than I would normally on my analysis in the markets, it keeps me hyper laser focused on what needs to get done over here. This session over here today and what we set up over here has me perfectly positioned. What I did last night with you all in yesterday's live stream and then in the evening on Twitter, it had me prepared over here as we bounced off of over here and came into that trend line, and then it acted as resistance and then broke down over here to get on the sidelines. And then I pointed out, the next thing I did was point out this bit of extended bull flag to you to watch that line. This happened on the Discord. It happened as soon as we jumped on, right? No, lightly leveraged does not, Luke, lightly leveraged doesn't mean bought in lower. Lightly leveraged means you're trading on either a futures or derivatives platform using some type of leverage in your trading. And because Bitcoin is so volatile, it has to be very light. It has to be very light. There's a video on the Conquering the Markets training session talking about exactly how to do that. Now what happened? Was this little bit of a wick, a fake out over here? Are we bouncing here? Is this the low, right? Is this the low over here? I have no idea. I'm waiting and watching. Right now we had a big technical break. This was the first sign. I said if you're extra lightly leveraged, lighten up your position. I'm not. I'm waiting for that break. That's where I got out. Right here we are now. I'm not going to just go ahead and like flip-flop and get into the market because we just saw a big technical breakdown, right? What happens here and next? The first sign that this is being repaired is going to be price rising above this trend line over here. That's going to be the first sign that price is now repairing itself and it's time to get into the market again, but it won't be on a breakout of that. A breakout of this over here, that's a breakout trade you take. On crypto, we don't wait for the breakout retest and resumption. A break of this trend line over here, I'm still saying neutral. Price could trade back up to $54,000 and I'm neutral on my lightly leveraged position. It wouldn't be until we came back in and retested that. If that held and then resumed off, then I would start scaling in and I would scale in a lot harder on this break and be fully positioned more as price made the new all-time high. And then I would continue to be in a position of strength. But because I'm now completely flat on my lightly leveraged position, I am in a position of strength. I'm observing the market and I'm waiting like a predator, stalking my prey. That's to the upside of when I get back in. I could also now wait to the downside, right? I could wait here for a 25% pullback, right? Into this area over here, 47,000. That would be a 23.5% pullback. I could start scaling in a little bit, lightly, right? And then if we came off even more, let's say that we came back down and we tested that 40,000 area. Even I don't think that's the bottom. If we test down there, I would go ahead, right? I would go ahead and take a little bit more for sure and happily, right? Scaling into that lightly leveraged position and feeling really strong. And then I would be waiting and watching and understanding that we might even come down and test towards 37,700, right around that area. That would get most people wrecked. The majority of people out there who are trading leveraged Bitcoin long will be completely wiped out of the market. That would be so healthy, right? I'm not rooting for Bitcoin to go down or anything like that, right? Obviously, when Bitcoin was back trading below, around $9,000, I was already fully positioned with half my net worth into it, including owned real estate, right? So I'm not rooting for Bitcoin I'm prepared for what is happening over here. And I see that when we look back at the previous two cycles around this particular time, we had a sharp V over there. Yeah. So look at the question. Could I go over the levels where I would buy back? I mean, I just spent the past 4 minutes doing that. So just pull back on the live stream and you could look at exactly where I talked about where I would buy back in, how the 3 places that I would do it. All right. What else? Let's go on over here. Are there any other questions that I missed over here that were important? No. Let's keep going then. People wondering about the DXY. If you're just wondering about the DXY over here, then you're just joining us. Glad that you are here. Some people are like, hey, Jordan, could you get back to the charts? Like this session, I don't know. This session was uber important to me, right? At the same time, what's more important to me is the community. That's what's the most important. I have a perfect read on the markets at all times. I try to share that with you at all times, but what's important to me is the community and the environment we're in. If something needs to be addressed, because we got a long lost family member back, it needs to be addressed because that is what's foundational for what happens here. If that bothers you, okay, there's no problem. Listen, you don't need to be here. That's neither here nor there for me. What's important for me is that we continue to flourish. Certain time, family is family. Sometimes things need to be talked about and addressed. That's all. What else? We got to look at the alts. I want to take a deeper look at FX. right? I'm going to start with the dollar. We looked at the Japanese yen pairs that we were building off of yesterday, right? We see that the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, which is still consolidating and getting ready, perhaps if I was going to attack and see further Japanese yen weakness, I'm attacking either versus the Canadian dollar or the British pound. Both of them, it's too soon. We continue to wait and watch, okay? On the downside, the euro Japanese yen, this is, let me clean this up a little bit over here. This is breaking down, coming in for a retest. If this breaks back down, that's offering some opportunity. If we see further Japanese yen strength, I'm attacking versus the euro. Those were the clearest trades I saw in the market yesterday. Let's find out what's going on with the dollar across the board as the dollar is now looking to break out of that resistance. You can see this clear break. I'm on the 2 hour. Hold on 1 second. Come back over here. So, all right, this is the euro US dollar. I'm more focused on what happens with the DXY right now, right? Because it's the dollar. It is the king dollar. And I'm waiting to see whether or not this breakout of resistance to the upside holds. And then I say, okay, I am now turning to a dollar bull because we got a big technical break. It's something that I've been lining up and watching with you, right? Always looking for when we go bullish after turning bearish, right? Back in May of 2020. Is this a particular time? We're at a critical level. I don't know. Is it too soon here to be attacking the euro? For me, it is. Is that for all dollar pairs? I don't know, right? You can see here the Australian dollar, US dollar, why the dollar's into resistance. This is into support, right? If the dollar breaks out to the upside there, is this going to break down? If this breaks down, by the way, this looks pretty. If this breaks down and we get a retest and a resumption, that looks pretty. I'm not going to trade against the dollar here unless it fails. If the retest fails over here and the dollar trades back down, I wouldn't even trade in this area. I would be waiting for us to break down below this trend line and looking for further weakness. I'm not looking for the turn. I'm looking for the sweet spot. The sweet spot is after the market has turned and after it begins trending. I'm not looking to catch the bottom of the move. I'm not looking to catch the top of the move. Just to show you what that looks like, I didn't sell dollars down here. I was a dollar bull. It wasn't until we broke down over here that I became a dollar bear. I'm not looking for the top. I'm not looking for the bottom. I'm looking for the sweet spot. Okay? Very, very, very important over there. What else? Let's see what the pound US dollar is doing over here. Pound US dollar breaking this resistance over here, bouncing back up. This is a retest. We're seeing that dollar strength at the same time. I did this with you yesterday. I see that support over there. It's fuzzy for me. I'm not looking to trade things that are uncertain. I'm looking and waiting until things are really clear, and that's what I attack on. So the dollar, I'm looking for a major shift in our bias, but not looking to attack it yet. Okay, very important. What about some cross pairs there? Maybe some cross pairs are active. Let's start with the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, taking out multiple support levels and coming in right now for a retest. All right, this is interesting. This is, and we did make note that we're seeing some Canadian dollar strength coming in as the central bank is starting to remove excess liquidity. Now, why that's not tightening, it is tightening relatively to what everyone else is doing out there. Is it a future sign? Is it a future sign? Wait, hold on. Don't misrepresent me whatsoever at any time. What am I a bear on? If you're talking about Bitcoin and you're calling me a bear, your perception of reality is so far removed from reality, I don't know what to talk about or say. So, YP, man, but do not misrepresent me at any time. That I'll take issue with, right? So we're coming in here after this break of support. We're strongly trending downwards now, breaking out this massive bit of resistance turn support level. It's a big level. Coming in for the retest now, a resumption off. Definitely a wave that I want to be watching. Is that the only and first cross pair? Is that the only first cross pair offering opportunity? I don't know. Let's check out the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. right? So what do we got here? We got here, again, another central bank in play. It's the New Zealand dollar central bank trying to take a lot of the bubble out of the housing market, okay? And we're seeing the New Zealand dollar weak or because of that. So what about the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar? Is that something that's offering opportunity? I'm going to check that out in a second, right, to see what that looks like. But as I look at the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, what I'm seeing is we got Bitcoin bid. Is that what you're saying? No, not yet, right? Not yet. Too soon for me. Again, just so everyone is clear on the same page, we have to start repairing after the technical break. At this point, for me, that means getting back above this trend line over there. At that point, I'll be looking to see if I get an opportunity for a long entry. If we test that, if we break the trend line to the upside and then retest it and resume off of it, that's the first repair in place that I would look to add. It's on a technical repair. And I pointed out this morning and I showed you this screenshot as we were trading right here at 50, 40, 50. I told the Discord group, watch that level. We're into that support of the extended bull flag. That doesn't mean that I wanted to buy there. I'm not looking to pick bottoms or tops. At this point, that trend line break after the retest and the resumption off carries more weight for me. So things are not looking good yet. Things will be looking good. And when I say on trading lightly leveraged, why strategy number 2, how to trade the Bitcoin bull market, why you're looking to scale in and add on those pullbacks. If you're trading lightly leveraged, it's not how it works. You're looking to lighten up your position on the pullbacks, and then you're looking to add and get fully positioned on the repair. So I am still waiting and watching over there. I want to look at other crosses. I see that the Australian dollar is outperforming the New Zealand dollar. I'm interested in strength versus weakness. That brings me here to the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. And what else? I mean, this is just a massive move, obviously. I'm not going to chase the momentum, but I see us now trying to come back up and test this area of resistance. So what I don't like about this, though, is that's a massive spike move, right? I feel like if I try to enter this position, I'm chasing after momentum. That could bite you just as quickly. When you get this type of massive spike, price could spike back up just as quickly. So I do prefer looking to attack over here on the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, where it's a little more, how could I say, consistent. We don't have that massive volatility spike that could go either way. So I'll be focusing on over there. What else? Let's check out some other crosses just to get an idea of what's going on. This is messy. I don't like this. This is the pound Australian dollar. Going to move over to the pound Canadian dollar. Why didn't you sell Bitcoin when it broke down the major trend line? Did you miss the video? Hold on one second. Is it a good question? Right? But I'm just going to send you where to go as we're all over here. It's a great question. It was covered right here in the video that we shared, the last 90 seconds of yesterday's live stream. You could go back and you could to the Twitter profile and it explains exactly why I suggested if you were very heavy, lightly positioned on that trend line break that you would lighten up your position. That I'm not doing it because it was the bull flag that I was watching that I carried more weight right over here. And we bounced off the bull flag overnight, right? Until we came into that resistance, the broken trend line. And when that trend line held, right, breakdown, retest, resumption off, that's when I exited the position, right? So for me, exiting, what is this over here? Is it let's see in real time. What's the price on the trend line break over there? Price on the trend line break is about 53,400, 53,300, whatever it is. For me, it was a lot safer, a lot better, entering $2,000 lower, which on Bitcoin is what? It's nothing, right? Is it it's nothing. So that for me was a stronger technical signal. If I'm exiting or lightening up a lightly leveraged position, I was very clear that it's below 50,000, 51,500. Above there, we were ultra bullish. So this trend line break that I had my eyes watching, but I wanted confirmation of it. That's all, and that's why it's a good question. Euro New Zealand dollar, that's a good one to check out. That's weakness versus weakness, with the euro being a little bit stronger, right? And then, so the euro stronger. This move over here was because of the New Zealand Central Bank verbally intervening, right? Into the resistance, now consolidating above it. Break above here now, right? I mean, that's a bullish move, but I don't want to attack the New Zealand dollar versus the euro, because the euro is what I would list as moderately weak right now. Moderately weak right now. The trolls are strong today. That's all good, Jay. I could care less about the trolls, but I could care about those important to me, right? And that when I'm talking about Kips right there. I could care less about the strolls. I care about those that are important to me. All right, what else? But what do you think is a good stop loss for a 35K entry, right? So anyway, I'll answer that in 1 second. The pound, Australian dollar, we already looked at. This is messy, right? When I say this is messy, like this whole area over here is very messy. It's sideways and it's very jittery. I just block that out and stay away from it. If we get above here, though, right? And if we get above here, that means we're going to be coming into that bit of, that's going to hold resistance and then pull back and resume off there. Is that offering up an entry? It is, but I have to be honest, probably not something that I would take a look at. If we are trading Bitcoin, if you have a $35,000 entry on Bitcoin, what's the question? Was when would I sell? Never. Never. I don't think that we ever see $35,000 again on Bitcoin, ever. Is there a possibility? Of course. It's the markets. Anything could happen. In 2020, oil traded negative. Of course, anything could happen. I give it a very low probability that we ever trade to 35,000 or below ever again. A very, very, very low probability that ever happens. If it ever happens, then we'll see. Right? I don't think that happens. What will my exit be? Zero. If I had a $35,000 entry on Bitcoin, my entry would be zero. My stop loss would be zero. And my stop loss is zero. All right. What else? So, well, here's what's else. Super strong session. A lot covered, and my apologies for things that are close to my heart, but that's who I am. I'm as transparent as they come, and obviously, Kips is someone I consider a brother, right? And like after going out of our way to extend like the arm around, when no communication back, and then just piecing out for quite a while, and then jumping back in, That's why that's important to me. Conquering the markets, the community itself is the single most important thing to me. And that's why that is. If you're like, Jordan, tell me what's going on with the markets, but you don't care about the community, then I don't really care, about you or what you want to know or what you want to do. This is the real deal here. And that's what it is. All right. So is there anything else that we want to cover? Because we covered a lot in this session. The flow has been all over the place. 36 dislikes. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome, and that's good. But what else? What else, though, are we looking at here? Yeah, that's the truth. I got to be who I am. Loyal and authentic, right? East Coast represent loyal and authentic, right? What else, though? What else do we want to look at, right? The mods, Justin, man, I can't, how do you even begin to thank the mods? Believe me, I have thought about it hard and often, and I know what it will be, but you can't really thank them enough for what they do each and every day. It is not an easy task, and without it, the troll, it would just be horrific. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of you. Right? That's true, Carl. Thanks for the big heads up. Thanks for listen, always be looking to improve. I am human. I am completely broken. There's no question about that. I only want to be a better person. Carl, thank you for helping me keep the focus. Thank you for helping build me up. And thank you when I lose focus for helping me regain it. Thank you for supporting each other, because that's what families do. They stick around and they support each other. Big wave flow for sure, right? The chat was fun. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I don't even know if I want to read it later and find out what's going on. Justin, man, I haven't seen, Justin's been around forever, right? Yeah, the course is always open. We're always taking students. And it's, the course a year ago when it was launched was exceptional. Right now, it is infinitely better and continues to be. No question about it. Alan, thanks for the head stack shout out, bringing us back into the flow, right? No question about that. What else are we looking at? In the weekly gold chart, there's a cross that has not been seen for years. I don't know, Alessandro, perhaps that's not how I do things, but how I do things is this. Let's pull up to gold. All I could say is where I circled us over here, I started saying, the price action of gold is saying something different here as it continues to consolidate and act stronger than silver underneath this resistance. Watch it. I think it's too soon to attack. I'm not looking for the turn. I'm looking for the sweet spot. I'm looking for it as momentum gains to get into the trade. But watch what's going on over here. Why I don't call bottoms and I'm not calling a bottom. Something's happening to take note of the current price action. And you could see as gold is getting bid over there, you could see over here the 10-year treasury coming back down to test the area of resistance. This could hold the support and gold could be rejected quite quickly. If the 10-year falls back below here though, right? And this unfolds quickly, gold, which trades inversely to the 10-year, will start going bid. And that's that. It's too soon. It's just something to start observing and watching. What else are we looking at today? Of course. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. What else are we looking at? I'm just trying to catch in with Robert said something that I heard was a good idea. The chat was on fire today. The chat was burning out inferno today, it seems like, or it looks like to me. Nothing says thanks like 10 free Bitcoin. What else? What else? What else? If Kips was here, I would see if we could play Autumn. Maybe be back tomorrow, and then we could do it, And then we could do it. I would love to do it right now. Boom, 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 boom. Thanks, brother. Thank you so much. I saw that comment. I read it. I love it. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Man, I take that stuff very seriously. It really gets me whenever there's any type of, let's call it discord. It's funny because our discord is perfect harmony, but whenever there's any type of discord in our whole vibe over here, it really gets me. It throws me off. And so my apologies for that, unquestionably about it. My sincere apologies. Thank you all for helping me get it back, and that's that. What else? What else? I don't know, Anthony. But listen, I could explain this to all to you while we're here. The only reason that there's many reasons from time to time why I will address a troll. And listen, as the community grows, as there's more and more people and there's more and more trolls, by addressing a single troll and showing that, listen, we're very kind here. The light-hearted Jordan, right? We're very kind. We're very open, very positive. But at the same time, we can't allow any type of negativity to gain traction in here or become destructive. It's like a cancer. So by singling out a troll and addressing it, it leads everyone else to understand and know that that's not to be allowed or permitted in here. So it's very important. So why it takes us out of the flow a little bit, it's also making it so the future flow is much more in tune and much more in line. We are always looking to improve over here. We are definitely full of compassion, even more full of mercy, right? But at the same time, we have real solid goals that need to be accomplished. It takes a lot of hard work It takes a lot of focus. The only reason we're going to be able to meet and achieve our goals during this bull market phase is because of all the work we put in each and every day. But we've been preparing ourselves for the exit ever since the bull market started, right? How about that? No one else, there were many people who weren't even aware that we were in the bull market. Everyone jumped on board as price broke above $20,000. And then you started having people selling at $27,000 and $38,000. How and why, right? So anyway, trade talk. Heath, you're so important to me, and you know that. I feel like you're a brother. You know, you are a brother to me, you know. Appreciate that very much. I didn't get to see, by the way, Alan P, right, on Discord, huge, the core of conquering the markets right there. He was talking about, you know, because I was saying, Alan, your chart work is so impressive, it's ridiculous. He's like, yeah, I've learned a lot here this week between whatever he said about me, he's like, and Heath, when he talked about how'd he put it? The market structure and the liquidity, that really just helped it all click for me. If you're not yet subscribed to Heath on Trade Talk, I don't know what you're doing, you know? Do it now. Same thing with Brandon, Crypto Trades and Tech, conquering the markets to the core. Gene, thank you, brother. Thank each and every one of you. All right. What should we do? I know what we should do. No way. I'm keeping that open until the top of the bull market. Thank you, Gemma. And again, my apologies for today. My sincere apologies for today. That's what I'm talking about, Cassidy. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I am. Craig, I love it. I can only do it during the CTM training sessions. Otherwise, we'll get, anyway, I can only do it then. Thank you, big girl. Nah, that's not a double top. That's not a double top at all. Thanks, Carl. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Thanks for being there. I appreciate that very much. To the heart. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about over here, right? That's all we could do, Gemma. That's all we could do, you know? That's the session for anyone who wants to leave. I'm going to take a second here and just see if there's anything else that we're going to need to see or talk about. Boom. Yeah, that's all good, Johnny Utah. I love the name Johnny Utah. by the way. What was the first one? Man, Johnny Utah. We got Keanu Reeves from Point Break, one of the best movies of all time, the first Point Break. Bam. So, what else? What else? I hope so. I got some nice clarity going on. The True Earth Yeti. Got my Yeti mug right here. Cheers to you. GBTC, man. I'm trading personally invested and own GBTC and will continue to own it through the duration of the bull market. I'm curious to see what happens to the premium during the cycle peak. Now, other ETFs, I believe their ETFs will be launched this bull market phase, right? Someone asked me the other day, Jordan, what would, I think, change your perspective or mind if Bitcoin, around July was trading at $80,000 or something like that? I'm not looking or concerned about what would change my mind as far as the bull market phase and the objectives that we are focused in on and looking at. What I am concerned about and always watching would be something that would cause the model to break, right? That we would enter a super cycle in the Bitcoin market, right? And, if an ETF is launched at some point over here, that's going to add to the blow off top, no question about that. Now, if we peak out at the end of September and then all of a sudden, let's say in October, November, an ETF is launched, that could be a game changer for the bull market phase. I'm always going to be aware and watching for what could happen, and always, as as I pointed out today, now I'm watching and pointing out to the upside. I'm normally pointing out, as we've been riding the bull, the downside risk, right? Now I'm pointing to you over here, the upside, what would make it repair itself, and me looking to go ahead and start scaling in and getting fully positioned. What I like about where I am today is that now I have the ability, if we do see this action play out over here, this large spike down over here, on my lightly leveraged, I could start scaling in where normally I have to lighten up. So I feel like I'm in a really good position of power. If I miss this area over here between 51, 500, and then the breakout over here, the resumption, right, over here at 57, if I lose out on this $6,000 move on Bitcoin, that's completely irrelevant. That's completely, and by the way, just so you understand and are aware, as we're trading over here around $200,000, you're going to see $6,000 price fluctuations on Bitcoin taking place every single hour, all the time, right? And much higher than that. So you have to think in percentage, not in prices. Someone's like, Bitcoin went off $3,000. So what? What is that? That's how you have to think. And anyway, that's how I'm thinking. What else? TJ, thank you, my brother. You guys are trying to kick me off, God bless you too, my brother. Thank you. So right now, I want to answer the question, as I should every session. When should you buy Bitcoin? Right? This is just, listen, if you stuck around and you're still here, this should be something that's answered every single session, because there are people joining us who have not been around following this channel since inception, or since last March, or since whenever, and like, listen, when should I buy Bitcoin, right? First of all, if you don't own any Bitcoin, $51,000 entry on Bitcoin is absolute fire, in my opinion. No question about that. If you don't own any Bitcoin and want to understand how to trade Bitcoin, there's the playlist on this channel. It's called the Bitcoin 4-Year Cycle. And the top video, or one of the top 2 or 3 videos, is called 3 Ways to Trade Bitcoin During the Bull Market Phase. That is required reading, watching 101. That is essential. Foundational. Make sure you watch that. Now, from a hyper-focused TA perspective, I know I covered it in this session a lot. So right now, either you're looking to wait for a pullback, whether you start scaling in at 15%, right over here right now at market, by the way, if I didn't own any Bitcoin, I would be taking a Bitcoin position. I would tell my mom right now, you should buy Bitcoin. Not only that, mom, you should be ready for a 30% plus drawdown at all the time. Just be mentally prepared for that. Do not look to exit. All right. Now, if we pull back further, right, and we hit this area around 47,000, it's a 23% pullback. The reason I'm pointing out, not because it's a 23% pullback, but because there's a little bit of support over here, I would be taking a position into Bitcoin. And then anything further towards 30%, I would be buying Bitcoin and I would be full in. No question about it. Now, from a TA perspective, we looked at it right now. We just had a technical breakdown. It has to repair itself. I've talked about it several times during this session. I'm not going to talk about it again, but we have to get above that broken trend line over here in the near term before I would look. Like if this is the low and that spot held over here, I'm not looking to buy until we break above this trend line. And then if we retest it and resume off of it, then I would probably be doing that on the 2 hour. Then I would look to buy. And then above the break of this over here, which we've said all week, every time we said, when is the right time to buy Bitcoin, which is changing today because we're off 17% if you don't own any Bitcoin. But it's a breakout above this trend line over here at this point is when you buy Bitcoin. That's when we resume up. That's when we're looking to take out that all-time high. And by the time you take out the all-time high, you have to be fully positioned and more. So what else? We are all human. Soul Crisper. You know, I raise my hand the high. If you ask, I'll raise my hand first. You know, if you ask who's broken, no question about that. No question about that. So what else? Oh, the Grayscale. I'm curious to what happens if the ETF is launched during this bull market cycle. I mean, the premium's already negative on Grayscale. What else could happen? You know, I always thought when the premium was positive that if ETFs have launched, that the premium would dissipate. I didn't expect it to go negative, but in all fairness, I've always said to each and every one of you, I do not consult the premium of GBTC at all in any way. I'm only focused on being position traded into it and looking to trade it in and out of it around the cycle of Bitcoin. And that's that. And that's where we are. That's right, Boomer Dave. That awareness. Tomorrow we have the expirations of the CME futures, right? Whether or not we see price react preemptively of that and start, you know, this was the low, and we start going up, or if we come in and get smashed and take it down further, or it takes it, you know, by closing 4:00 p.m. tomorrow, if we haven't even seen a bounce in Bitcoin, though, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no crystal ball on that type of time frame or like that. That's why I follow price, and that's why I follow what's going on the technicals. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. 49,000 will start the sell-off, right? 47,000 is the level we have. If we break that, that's when, you know, things could start getting ugly and unwind quickly. If you start seeing price really selling off, do not get alarmed. Be very, very happy. Focus in on these two areas right over here. Because this happened first cycle, this happened second cycle, right where we are right now. So if you start seeing price dumping really hard, start getting really happy, and then understand if it recovers, that's when Jordan is going to be fully positioned and more, expecting a violent move to the upside, as happened also in the first and second cycle. As price made that all-time high in the second cycle, it went violent to the upside. As price made that swing high over here in the first cycle, price went violently to the upside. We'll be watching for that, or I'm ready for that. I am in a position of power right now. I love it. I like it. What else? Michael, awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Michael. Thank you. Could you please info like from low to high? I don't know what that means, my brother. Bitcoin sentiment could turn on a dime. That's right. And there's the exact example of that happening. Our two highlighted pieces over there. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. All right. I'm going to go out with some more tunes. Everyone, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. My apologies, my sincere apologies to you. I love you all. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for accepting me for who I am. And yeah, let's go out with some honeymoon instrumental. So the question about sushi, it's just like all the alts we look at when we did the alts during this presentation today, right? I mean, the water's not clear yet. Wait for price to repair itself, for the momentum to be built. Don't try to pick a bottom. If Bitcoin loses, if Bitcoin doesn't hold here, it could get ugly on alts as well. Thank you, everybody. For real. Thank you. And, thank you. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to kiss mom. I'll see you all till later. Maybe I'll see you all later. Maybe we'll have a Thursday afternoon update. I don't know. But either way, tomorrow is our Friday sessions. Love our Friday sessions. Either we're going to be seeing Bitcoin under attack and we're going to be cool as a cucumber, or we're going to be looking at what we need to do as the repair occurs to position back in and make sure we stay on the right side of the trade. Everyone, Anthony, that's awesome. Mexico has amazing people and amazing food. Love the salsas. Love the salsas beyond belief. They are extraordinary. Everyone, yeah, man. Matcha by the River 2022. All right, everyone, that's it. Take care. God bless you.